everyone, I'm diving in today into the Hoka Mach 6. I'm already on my second pair. That's how much I love these shoes. In fact, they've been out since February of 2024, but I wanted to do a review with these because if for some reason you haven't been a Hoka fan, like to be honest, I wasn't either. I've put over 300 miles on these shoes, which is why I'm ready for my second pair. And the reason is I've been able to use this for pretty much every single run. I fell in love with them. They became my go-to shoe. I want to share with you why it may be valuable for you too. Hi, I'm Dr. Lynne Virant. I'm owner and physical therapist of the Movie Clinic in Pensacola, Florida, and I'm here to share with you what you can do and the gear that you can use to help you keep running and stay healthy on the roads and on the trails. So the Mach 6 is a lightweight performance running shoe. It's only 8.1 ounces for the men's size 9 and 6.3 ounces for the women's size 8. How light is that, right? So it's a great light shoe, and that's why it's a great fit for a variety of different types of runs. The shoe also strikes a great balance between cushion and responsiveness, meaning that it's just enough cushion to where you don't feel the ground completely, but just enough responsiveness that helps spring you forward. That is the biggest surprise for me and the reason that I transferred from this shoe to another shoe that I used to love. One of the other key features is the upper mesh. It's lightweight, it's breathable. I wore this all last summer through the heat and humidity here in Florida, and I had no issues with discomfort at all, or even my feet feeling heavy in the shoe. The drop on the shoe is only 5 millimeters, so if you're like me and you're used to a minimalist shoe, this doesn't put you that much higher, and in fact, it still feels fairly natural and low to the ground. However, there's a little bit of rocker geometry in it, so it still helps transition you from the back of your foot all the way to the front in your running motion. The other part that's comfortable is they added the adjustment to the heel collar. It's just enough that the back of your foot feels comfortable, but it doesn't feel like it's digging into your heel. Adds to the comfort of using the shoe. Mach 6 hits that sweet spot between daily trainer and performance shoe. In fact, as I stated earlier, it's the shoe that I've used for easy, slow runs, speed work, tempo runs, even some longer 8 to 10 mile runs. It could have been longer, but I just haven't been running that long. So if you're a runner that needs a neutral shoe, this is a great fit for you. And even at its high price point, the versatility of it will make it valuable for all of your runs. The other thing that it's useful for are for runners who are looking for that balance of a little bit of cushion, but don't like a soft, mushy feel. The previous shoe that I used the cushion just felt too mushy. This, when my foot hits the ground, I just feel like it's comfortable, but yet I feel like there's a sufficient amount of spring to help propel me forward, which is why it feels great for even those speed work or those tempo runs. So as a physical therapist, I recommend this shoe for runners who are looking for a neutral shoe, again with a light cushioning but still responsive. Because it does have a low drop of 5 millimeters, you want to have good ankle mobility or it will feel like you're really straining to get the benefit of the shoe. Additionally, I actually prefer a little bit more of a wider toe box, and I never felt uncomfortable in these shoes. So if you want a wider toe box without the clunky look, this might be a good fit for you. And finally, if you want a versatile shoe that you can use both for running and for everyday use, this would be a good fit. There are a variety of colors, including the brighter colors that I like, and then also some more neutral colors that you can use for everyday. However, don't use the same shoes that you do for everyday walking around for running. Have 2 separate shoes for that. And I don't get paid for these companies, but there is a benefit of having 2 separate shoes, both for everyday use and for your running. So this would also be a good shoe for beginners who don't necessarily want the higher stack height because it's a nice and forgiving ride. However, if you're an experienced runner and you're shying away from the bigger stack height, this is a great intro into Hoka because it does have enough of that responsive to help pick you up for your quicker runs. Durability. I can speak confidently about the durability of the shoe because, as I said, I've logged 300 miles in my first pair, and the only reason that I switched is that not necessarily because of the wear and tear of the upper or even on the rubber soling. I just started to feel sluggish in this shoe. And I thought maybe it was my form or maybe it was some injury. However, when I put on a new pair right away, it brought me back to the reason I bought this shoe in the first place was that nice cushion feel and that balance with the responsiveness. So if you're starting to feel sluggish in the shoe, it might be time for another pair. However, there is a rubberized EVA sole on the bottom of the shoe that will help extend the life of the shoe. But again, I wish I had my old pair because I think that didn't even wear through, and like I said, I ran over 300 miles in that shoe. So definitely can speak to the durability of the shoe. So it's well worth the money. Hoka's really stepped up their game in the style of the shoe, As I said earlier, it's a very streamlined look, but also looks balanced and not clunky at all. Like it's typically what I see when I think of Hoka is like a big stack, whereas this one feels nice and light and really streamlined to the ground. Other thing that I love about this shoe is that it does come in neutral colors, but I prefer the brighter colors because when I put these shoes on and you see that bright color, it just brings me that zip and that energy to go for a run. But again, if you want to wear them from everyday use because you can't really see the logo and the branding, then it'll be a little less overstated for your everyday run. Overall, my impression as a runner, as a physical therapist, is that this is a great shoe due to its versatility, its lightweight, its durability. As I said earlier, I've been able to use this in a variety of runs, from your easy run to your speed work. So if you're a beginner looking for a brand new shoe, or an experienced runner looking for a shoe that you can use for your scope of running as well, I would highly recommend this shoe. That wraps up my very enthusiastic review of the Hoka Mach 6. Hopefully you got that feel. If you've tried these shoes before, I would love to hear your comments, and if you have any questions, please ask. I'd be happy to answer them. Check out your local running store, Running Wild Pensacola and Fairhope, to look at these shoes on your own. And if you have any questions about your running form and what you can do to improve so you can stay healthy and active on the roads and on the trails, check out getmovingpt.com.